What is going on, fam? It is your girl, Biola here with a new YouTube video. Now, one piece of news before we go into today's video. One of the things I'm noticing is that many of you are coming onto my channel, seeing my practices and joining me for a practice, but you're not subscribing. I would love to have y'all continue to explore your yoga journey with me. So please, if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if this practice felt good for you in your body, go ahead and give me a like at the end of the video. That would help me so much, and I would deeply appreciate it. I'm trying to get those watch hours up as well, y'all. So thank you for staying to the very end of the video. Let's go ahead and get into the practice. So to be honest, y'all, as of late, I've been feeling pretty overwhelmed in my life. We're preparing for the IA launch, which if you're new here, that is the online yoga platform that I'm creating that really focuses on cultivating non-performative yoga journeys, or yoga journeys that focus on what feels good in your body as opposed to fitness-based yoga postures that look good on the body. We're preparing for that launch. I just had a really long-term friendship in my life kind of start to fizzle out and fray. And I'm feeling so many things right now. I'm feeling kind of emotionally spent as we come to the end of this virtual yoga teacher training that I've been hosting, and just so many ups and downs that have been happening within my life. If you're following me on Yoga by Biola on Instagram, you are probably aware of this. So I've been really looking for a restorative yoga practice to hold space for me in my body and where I can just rest. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be doing a restorative yoga practice for getting into the hips. Now this is going to be really gentle, but you will need some props to support you. As you know, restorative yoga focuses on a practice with little to no resistance, very, very gentle transitions to really activate your parasympathetic nervous system to reduce your fight or flight responses. And the way that we find support in the practice is through supportive props. So you're going to need, what I have here behind me is a yoga bolster and 2 blocks. You're also going to want to be somewhat near a wall because we'll be using the support of a wall to get into the hips. Now, if you do not have a yoga bolster, which most folks don't have those lying around, and that's completely fine, you can use pillows from your bedroom, or throw pillows that you have from your couch. Just go ahead and grab those. If you don't have a block, you can also use a large book. So when I didn't have blocks, I just went ahead and used this large Webster's dictionary that I have lying around. Harry Potter books work just as great for makeshift props. Anything like this is going to provide the same support you get with a cork or foam block. So you can substitute out the props that I just named with any one of these at-home props that you have around you. We're going to go ahead and get started in our restorative yoga practice, and I'll meet you back here on the mat in a hot second, y'all. Alright fam, we're going to go ahead and get started with our practice today. And what you're going to do is you're going to position your blocks or your books so that the one behind or closer away from you or further away from you is ultimately on the highest height, and the other one is more at a mid distance, and it's on its second to highest level. So you're ultimately just creating a slant here for your body and for your back. You're going to take your bolster or your pillow and just draw it right over your blocks. Once again, you just want to position it so you're creating a little bit of a slant. And you're going to draw your tailbone or your sacrum towards the base of your pillow, and then just spill the heart over and along your pillow and onto your makeshift blocks. And we're going to start in Supta Baddha Konasana. So the bottoms of the feet are going to be drawn together, and the knees are going to draw out to the left and the right. So we want to start to wake up the inner thighs. Now, if this is problematic for you and feels uncomfortable because your inner thighs are tight, you can go ahead and grab 2 more blocks or even books and position those directly underneath your knees like so that you are not fighting gravity. And this is going to create even more restoration, because once again you can just melt and relax and rest and almost let the practice and the pose cradle you and hold you. So choose if you'd like to add those blocks underneath the knees. And we'll draw the hands on the low belly and just start with some breathing here. Taking a moment to arrive in the body by noticing the texture, the pace, and the consistency of our breathing. Notice how we're arriving. Noticing what we're feeling and holding in our emotional and energetic bodies, as well as what you're feeling in your physical body. Let's start with 3 grounding breaths here. Take a deep inhale in through the nostrils. Exhale out of the mouth, HA. Once more, deep inhale. Exhale out of the mouth, HA. Third inhale, deep inhale. Exhale out of the mouth, HA. Go ahead and draw the lips together here. And just find an audible exhalation out of the nose, moving into Ujjayi Pranayama. That victorious breath, as it's translated, let the breath drag along the back of the throat. Making a bit of a soft whisper out of the nostrils as the breath escapes through the nose. I invite you to close the eyes, or you can keep them open if that feels safe. Take a moment to reacquaint yourself with healthy self-touch, or touch that you yourself are administering by maybe just caressing and rubbing the belly. Stimulating the womb, and also just cultivating space to remother your body. And what I mean by that is providing the nourishment and your comfort that you maybe wanted from your mother and or parental guardian but did not receive. Beginning to give that to yourself. Begin to notice if you are clenching down on the mouth or the jaw, and just begin to soften and relax through the mouth and the jaw. We'll be here for a few more rounds of breath. On the next round of breath, let's slowly draw the knees together. And then we'll root our hands behind us as we come up off of our little ramp here. And turn so you're facing towards your bolster. Now we're going to take our pillow off of our ramp here with our blocks and move our blocks out to the left and the right. We're going to come onto our bellies. We're going to drag our pillow down so it's kind of towards the midline of the hips. And just draw your left knee on top. So we're going to come into a half frog pose. So we're coming onto the belly, getting back into the inner thighs here. And we're just drawing the head and neck down. And extending the arms long, maybe dropping the right ear towards the earth. Now this is for the inner thighs. Some of us, we might want a little bit more extension here. If that's you, you might stick a block underneath your bolster here to feel more sensation in the inner thigh and bring more height to the pose. You want to be drawing your belly down, hands alongside you, right shoulder, left shoulder on the earth, and then the right ear comes to the earth. Holding here a few rounds of breath. Once again, cultivating space to remother your body. Provide the nourishment and the comfort that you wanted from whatever parental figure was in your life. And begin to give that to yourself. We'll be here for a few rounds of breath. Cultivating a state of rest here, but also cultivating a state of calm. Few more rounds of breath here. Slowly, when you're ready, root your left hand into your mat to just guide your upper body off of the mat, and just pick up your left leg and drop it down. You're going to come roll back onto the belly, push the hands into the earth, and come on to tabletop, just to move to the opposite side. So you can pick up your block and your pillow and bring it to the right, or you can just bring your pillow if you choose not to bring a block or have that block position there. And we're just going to move to the other side. We're going to drop onto our bellies. Hands are going to come alongside the body, and this time we're going to position our right knee right onto our pillow or our pillow block combination, and we'll drop our left ear to the earth. Check in with the body, see how that feels. Begin to allow the pose to cradle you here, and just allow yourself to come into a position of receptivity, so just receive. Moving out at the hint of sensation that's just too great, that it's moving beyond your growth zone and moving more into your panic zone. If that's the case, you can start to move out of the posture. We want the postures to stay within the growth zone. few more rounds of breath here, y'all. You'll notice that with restorative, we just kind of let the breath and the body find ease here. Very little words to really start to move out of that fight or flight. Let's push our right hand into the earth and lift the torso and the chest and glide your right shin down. Root the left hand and push the body up, tabletop. Now from here we're going to move into our wall variation. So this is where, remember I said you want to be somewhat close to a wall. We're going to move our bodies over to the wall. And you're going to come onto your side body so that your hip is really close to the wall. It's kissing the wall. You're going to slowly come onto your back, and you're going to tick-tock your legs up. Alright, so tick-tock the legs up one at a time. And both legs are going to be extended towards the heavens, so we call this legs up the wall pose. It's very restorative in nature. But we're going to go into a more active and restorative hip opener here against the wall. We'll bend our right knee, and we'll invite our right foot onto the left knee. The hands can come to the right shin and slowly bend the left knee. And as you bend, you'll notice you start to feel a stretch in your outer right hip. Now, I want you to only bend the left knee enough to feel the stretch. And as soon as you notice you're bending too much and your hips are literally lifting off of the mat like so, you know you've gone too far. You want your low back, your whole spine to be on the earth, and you don't want your booty to lift up. Now we want this to be restorative, so as soon as the sensation feels too great, you want to lengthen out your left knee, right? So only go to a comfortable restorative depth. And we'll hold here for a few rounds of breath on this side. Maybe closing the eyes, maybe keeping them open if it feels safe. Reacquaint yourself with healthy self-touch here, or personal touch that is administered by you by just gently caressing and self-soothing the area of the body that is experiencing the greatest sensation here. A few more rounds of breath on this side. And then slowly extend the right leg. Extend the left. Just see how that feels. And we'll move to the opposite side by bending our left knee and inviting our left foot directly on top of the right knee. And when you're ready, start to slowly bend your right knee to your depth that is restorative. So not pushing yourself to perform here and not going to the level of depth that you would in a non-restorative practice. Remember, restorative is all about meditative postures. So you don't need to push to make some big, deep stretch happen here. Just passively receive the stretch, and more importantly, allow the stretch to be passive. It does not have to be some deep, giant pose. You'll notice that I have a very small micro band in my knee, particularly my right knee, to really find ease in this gentle hip opening. Let it be a gentle hip opening for you. A few more rounds of breath on this side, y'all. On the next inhale, let's release by bending the right knee, lengthening it completely, and then draw your left leg long. We're going to close our practice in legs up the wall pose, but we're going to open the feet wide to get into the inner thighs. And you can find your depth here. And I invite you to draw the hands to the inner thighs if you're feeling a lot of sensation there, reacquainting yourself with healthy self-touch that you yourself administrate. Or you can place your hands on the low belly or the womb. Find what feels easeful for you. And lastly, closing the eyes or keeping them open if it feels safe. To invite the feet back up towards the heavens, and we'll just slowly float both legs to the left or the right as we come into a fetal position, making our way gently from here up to a seated position. Invite you to come back towards your mat. And whatever comfortable seated position feels good for you. I invite you to close your practice with whatever hand mudra feels intuitive to you and showcases gratitude for our practice today. Traditionally, palms are drawn together at heart center, a little space in between the palms, thumbs pressing the heart center. Take a deep inhale in through the nostrils. Exhale out of the mouth, HA. We'll each repeat one time. I've done my best. I leave the rest. Namaste, fam.